Programming languages like Python are very useful for performing repetitive tasks without complaining, getting bored, or even growing tired. They can repetitively perform the same calculations with minor but very important variation over and over again. So human beings don't share this kind of qualities, and therefore that is one of the reasons why we employ computers, especially when it comes to programming, to perform these massive repetitive tasks that we would rather find boring and avoid them. So, however, we need efficient ways of telling the computer to do these repetitive tasks. We don't want to have a stop to tell the computer each time it finishes an iteration. So literally, we want to make sure that it does it once, and it does it maybe a couple of, maybe 1,000 times, but with slightly different conditions. And when it's done, it reports back whatever it has done. So this is what how we came up with the idea of loops. So loops allows us to literally accomplish these tasks. So the first one that we are going to look at, and I think that's the only one I'm going to look at in this video, is the for loop. So for loop is very, very important when you want to execute a block of fixed number of code several times, and this will be very handy when it comes to data analysis part of this tutorial. And that's why I want us to have a look at it and be comfortable with writing simple loops. So think for a while you want to print the word hello world maybe 10 times. How will you do that in a most efficient way? Probably you will type print hello world and do this 10 times, but you don't want to do that. The easiest way is to use a loop. So loops, if you want to use a for loop, you normally start with for I. So I'll just watch what I'm doing for I in range. So you remember range allows you to specify a range of numbers between maybe 1 to a certain number. So I'll start with 1 to 10, but not including 10. So for x in range, so basically that's what I'm doing. And then I will say print hello world, and then run this. So you can see it has printed the word hello world, I think a couple of 9 times. So if you want it to print it 10 times, then you remember that range is never inclusive. So I have to add it 11 so that it includes 10. So that means it now prints hello world 10 times. So instead of literally doing this 10 times on your computer, you're just doing it once. So that is how you work with the loops. A good example would be for x in range 1 to 11, print x. So a couple of things to note is the word x here can be anything, and when I say anything, it can be anything. So I can even say for anything, but remember that when you whatever you use here is what you use in this end. So for anything in between 1 to 11, print instances of that, and you can see it returns 1, 2, 3 up to 10. If I change this to 20, it's gonna do exactly the same, print every item up to 20. So that is how you do it. And then when you're writing loops, just make sure that after writing the first statement, you have full colon and then enter. For most editors like Jupyter Notebooks, VS Code, or Spider, it will automatically indent. This line is very, very important. So the next part you're writing is inside here. If you delete this line here or backspace this line, it won't run. It will return a syntax error. So that is the basic introduction to for loops. I'm going to do another advanced for loop in the next video. This one was just to get you comfortable with the loops. So that's all for this tutorial.